Hey, thanks for joining me. My name is Nick Lawfrey. I've made this routine just for you if you're a healer, therapist, acupuncturist, massage therapist, energy worker, psychotherapist, couples therapist, any kind of therapist or healer. This routine is for you. We're using Qigong. Qigong is an ancient Chinese practice for regulating your mind and body and energy, your Qi. What we're going to be doing in this specific routine is first off clearing off the old energy, especially energy we've been picking up from our therapeutic patients or just our stress around dealing with other people's energy and problems and emotions all day. After clearing out the old, we'll begin charging up and filling up with the new using Qigong exercises designed to fill the body up with vital energy, circulate it through the body, and then use it to calm and clear the mind, to charge up the body, to come back to our center, our place of inner power, our place where we know who we are and we're not getting our energy confused with the energy of our patients and clients. And then of course we'll be transmitting some of that energy into the field around us. We call the Wei Qi in Qigong, in Chinese medicine, meaning guardian energy or protective energy. This is basically your aura, the electromagnetic field around your body that helps to buffer the space between your energy and other people's. So this can both help to protect your own energy as well as we start to develop a positive, harmonious quality of Qi within ourselves. This energy field around us can help us to transmit that energy to other people in a resonance effect where people start to vibrate along with our energy that we're putting out rather than us getting caught into their energy quite as much. So I hope you enjoyed this routine. If you find it relaxing, recharging, recentering, I hope you use it on a regular basis to come back to yourself, either at the beginning of your day before you're seeing clients, or perhaps at the end of the day to come back to yourself after a hard day's work. You ready? Let's get started. Let's begin standing with our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to begin with just shaking, bouncing in your lower legs, relaxing through your hips, waist, neck, shoulders, arms, wrist, face, jaw. Just using the shaking to clear any tension we've been holding on to. As you shake, you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. Do a few sighing breaths as we release tension, release stagnant Qi, release any energy we've picked up or accumulated through the day that we'd like to let go of. Let that slow down and begin knocking on the sternum with light fists tapping up and down on the center of the chest. Here you can also use those sighing breaths, clearing any stuck energy in the heart or chest. Brush it off, and we'll start to tap our way down the chest and arm, coming down the inside of the arm to the palm, and then up the outside of the hand, up the outside of the arm to the shoulder. And again, from chest down to the palm and up the outside. Good firm tap or slap. Using this to decongest any stuck energy or lymphatic fluid. Let's go down the other side, clearing tension, stagnation. In Qigong, we think of anything that vibrates the body as dissolving stagnant Qi and blood. Back to the center of the chest. Nice inhale. Again, brush it off and lift one arm. Slap your armpit down the ribs, down to the hip. Going from top to bottom 3 times. Other side, this following the flow of the acupuncture channels through the body as well as the lymphatic nodes. Then come to your lower back with light fists going up and down from the low back muscles to the sacrum and tailbone. And then slapping down the back of the legs and up the inside. Around the hips, low back, back of the legs, inside of the legs, hips. Once more. Clearing off the stuck energy of the day. Very nice. Pause. Notice how you feel. You might feel a little chi buzzing in your body, especially the fingertips. Let's come to the outside of the arms. Brush over the head. Down the lower back, down the back of the legs. Then come up with light fists. Stomp your heels, flick your hands. Next we come to the inside of the ankles. Brush up the inside of the legs. Cross at the belly, up to the armpits, inside of the arms. And then stomp the heels. We're going to repeat that a few times. So again, outside of the arms, over the head, back of the neck, ribs, low back, back of the legs, feet, coming up, and throw it away. And the inside of the legs, brushing up the inside, cross at the belly, armpits, inside of the arms, make fists, and throw it away. This is called dredging the channels. What we're imagining here is like we have gutters around the body. These are our yang meridians here on the outside of the body and back of the body. Like we're pulling leaves out of the gutters and then tossing them away. And then here are the yin meridians on the inside and front of the body, the soft parts. Pulling the junk out of the meridians and tossing it away. Good. Next one we use sound. Take a deep breath in and then make the letter S as we swing the arms. When you run out of breath, inhale and come up. Make light fists and make the ha sound. Ha, followed by ho. Ooh. Inhale up. And like a fancy sigh. Ha, ooh. Once more, inhale. Ha, ooh. This one is called the Hermit and the Tide Pool. It's like we're splashing in water on that first part with the letter S. Repeat again. Inhale. Exhale, letter S. Inhale up. Exhale. Ah. Oh. These three sounds, S, ha, and ho, to clear the lungs, heart, and stomach. Ah. Oh. Clearing stagnant chi and stuck emotions from these three organs. Ah. Oh. Take a deep breath. Notice how you feel. We'll do one more time. Inhale. Exhale, letter S. Clear the lungs. Inhale. Heart. Ah. Stomach. Oh. Those last two sounds on one breath. Ah. Oh. Once more. Ah. Oh. Take a deep breath again as we pause and notice the body. Have patience with yourself on those last two exercises. Dredging the channels, Hermit and the Tide Pool. It might take you a couple rounds of this video to really get them. Now step out nice and wide. Bring the palms under the solar plexus for the bear. We're going to breathe into the solar plexus here, and then we're going to reach to our right. It's called the bear offers fruit. Inhale as we bring the hands back under the solar plexus. And exhale as we offer fruit to the left. A little twist of the waist. Slight extension of the arms. Inhale to the center. Exhale, offering fruit. Staying in a horse stance so the knees are a little bent. Feet are about twice shoulder width. And our legs don't move as we turn. Notice my knees don't follow my hands. They're just staying right where they are. So Just training you in groundedness, building a strong, stable, rooted feeling in the body. This is part of the bear frolic and the 5 animal frolics. Then here we're going to press, very similar motion, just with open palms pressing. Inhale back to the solar plexus. We call the yellow court in Qigong. This area of the upper abdomen where many of our organs cross over this region, and so we consider this to be a place where we find emotional balance, balancing the various energies of the different organs. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. If your legs get tired, you can straighten your knees a bit and learn to sink lower for longer as you continue training. Back to the center. We'll hold here. Breathe into the solar plexus. Your palms of your hands like they invite the diaphragm down into that region. Then we're going to cross the wrists about where your watch would be. So not the actual wrist joint, a little lower than that. About where you would wear a watch. Then part the hands and press down. This one, to build the protective chi, we cross the inner and outer gate acupressure points on the wrists. Then shift to the left and press down towards the earth as we sink into the left leg. Come through the center as we cross the inner and outer gates, charging up the Wei Qi, the guardian energy. Then shift to your right and sink as we press down, exhaling. Inhale, inner outer gates cross, charging the Wei Qi field. Exhale, grounding into the earth, grounded, stable energy. And then like we wrap the earth chi around us like a golden shield. Exhale, sinking. Inhale, rising. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise. Tapping into the earth, and drawing the earth chi up through and around your body. Again, if your legs get tired, you can sink much less, stay higher up in this form. And press at the center. Step our feet back to our neutral, roughly shoulder width stance. Find your palms face down, a little wider than the shoulders, fingers pointed forward. Palms flat to the earth, like each hand was resting on a balloon floating on the surface of a pond. Hands are just about 6 inches out in front of your hips. We'll hold this as a standing meditation for about a minute, feeling the crown of your head like it's pulled gently towards the sky, tailbone like it sinks towards the earth. Knees are soft. Chest is leaned slightly forward of the hips. And as we rest in this posture, feel like your bones are floating towards the sky and your muscles are sinking towards the earth. Posture gradually becomes effortless with many days and weeks of practice, until gradually it encourages the chi to flow through the body. As though the chi is what starts to hold the posture in place, similar to how air pressure would hold a balloon in its structure from within. We'll take the palms towards each other and start to move out of this, floating out with the hands, bringing them back together to hold a chi ball. Exhale, sink your hips down and back a little. Inhale, stand back up tall. Then we'll find a movement called Embrace the Tiger, Return to the Mountain. Back of the hands turn towards each other, drop to the chest, sink the elbows and press gently forward. And then do a small circle in front of you, gathering back to that chi ball in front of the belly. Exhale, float it out, hips sink back. Inhale, drawing up, standing taller. Exhale, press forward, sinking the hips back. Inhale, draw the circle, standing tall again. Watch my hips here. They really help make the movement more of a flow, helping the energy to move through the body like water. In Qigong, we think of water-like movement as mirroring the way we want Qi to flow. We say to have your energy be like a river rather than a swamp. Moving keeps it pure, clean, life-giving, and energized. Inhale, circle. Exhale, float out. Inhale, up. Exhale, press. Inhale, circle. Exhale, out. Embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. The tiger, representing energy and vitality. The mountain, quiet and stillness. The ultimate goal of Qigong is to find both at the same time. Come back to that pulsing of the Qi ball, pressing out, gathering to the ball. And then we'll float that ball up into one big ball, like we're hugging a beach ball against our chest. We call this embrace the tree. Find your fingers slightly spread, your arms round, your elbows dropped a little lower than the hands and shoulders. Crown of the head again reaching to the sky, chin tucked slightly back, tailbone sinking towards the earth. A slight hinge at the hips, bringing the chest a little bit more forward than the hips, so we're not leaning back, but are actually slightly leaned forward from the hip joint. Here you can just breathe naturally through your nose. Touch your tongue gently to the roof of the mouth, just behind your teeth. Watch your breath. Watch the sensations in your body as you continually adjust the posture. Growing your energy like a tree, reaching towards the heavens, and rooting towards the earth. Natural, gentle breathing. These postures can be very challenging at first, which is why we're only holding them for a minute each here. But gradually, as we find more ease in these postures, we'll find that our sensation of Qi becomes much stronger. It starts to feel as though the Qi is upholding the structures of the body, making not just our posture easier, but every tissue and cell being held in its blueprint for health, in its proper structure and form, by this life-giving energy. And press down. And out. Back to the Qi ball. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then turn your palms face up, spiral past your waist. Back of the hands circle in, up, sweeping forward like a carpet rolling out. And then coming up to the solar plexus with the fingers pointed up, touching together, making a little triangle. And releasing there, floating up forward, and then turning the fingers to point towards the mid-eye, the space between the eyebrows. Focusing the mind, and then pressing down. This flow is called Embrace the Wind, Caress the Moon. Hands float out. Palms turn up, circle, point towards your waist, Come around with the back of the hands, draw up, float forward, and circle from the bottom, coming up to the solar plexus. This is embracing the wind, like we're breathing wind into the fire, the digestive fire here at the solar plexus. Then float the hands up, turn them towards the mid-eye, caress the moon like we're gathering moonlight, cool silvery moonlight into the mid-eye to calm and focus the mind. And then here we press down like we're rising above murky water, rising above our worries, our concerns of our mind. And we spiral around, embracing the wind, gathering the spiraling wind energy. Gathering it into the solar plexus. Releasing. Caressing the moon, gather the moonlight into the mid-eye, into the brain, focus the mind. And then rise above murky waters. Take an inhale as though your inhale makes you buoyant to rise above your worries and stagnant chi of the head. Exhale as you press it out. And inhale as we spiral. Exhale as we come around. Inhale as we gather to the solar plexus. Exhale. Pause and inhale. Fill up the solar plexus with golden light. Exhale, release. Inhale to the third eye. Exhale, pausing as we gather silvery moonlight. And then inhale, rise above murky water. This one may also take a few repetitions here to really feel it. Let's do one more time. Spiral around. You can try to use those breathing cues or just breathe naturally with it. Inhale, fill up the solar plexus with golden light, like a warm fire. Exhale, release. Inhale, gather silvery moonlight to the third eye. Exhale, let it accumulate there. Inhale, rise above murky water. Exhale, press it away. Inhale, back to the chi ball. Back to the chi ball. And then crossing those wrist gate points again. Holding it now as a posture. The points aren't quite touching each other. The wrists have an inch or two between them. The arms are extended out in front of the body, so they're not hugged in too close or extended so far the elbows are straight. Just round arms. And feel for those points to connect magnetically. Again, it's about where your watch would be. Sink your tailbone, float your crown. Watch your natural breathing. Again, as we connect these points, it helps direct our energy to the frontier, the exterior of the body, to help us feel more protected emotionally and energetically and spiritually. We don't have this protection with a sense of aggression or even willpower. So with a sense of relaxation and allowing of our natural positive chi to fill the space around us, to influence the space, events, and people around us. We'll start to turn that into a flow, similar to the last one, the last wrist cross flow, but here just a little more relaxed. Inhale as we cross the wrist gates, separate, Elbows lift slightly. And exhale, press down. Inhale. Exhale. If you like to visualize, you might imagine that you're gathering golden light from the earth and drawing it up to wrap around the body. The wrists and the palms are directing that golden light around the front, sides, back of the body, over the shoulders and head, around the legs and feet. Start to glow with this golden aura as we plug into the energy of the earth and feel that energy fill up our body and overflow from the body. We have so much vitality, so much peace, so much positive energy that it just radiates around us, protecting us, influencing our environment, shining with a radiance. And we'll settle down back to that first standing meditation position, palms face towards the earth. Grow your roots into the earth by sinking the tailbone. Even feeling your awareness go down into the earth. And then we'll cross those wrist gates with the palms face down. Whichever feels more natural to be on top is fine. Feel this energizing the hands. Like the earth chi is pulsing up the legs, filling up the body and extending to the palms and fingers. And we'll flip those palms face up in the same position. Palms becoming radiant with that golden light. And then bring the palms stacked one over the other beneath the dantian, the region of the body just below the navel, in the center of the lower abdomen. Turn whichever hand's on top, palm face down towards the lower hand. Holding a chi ball, gathering some of this light into the dantian. And we're going to start to flow with it. That upper hand's going to reach out, come under the dantian. We switch which hand's on top of the ball, and then go out. Might help to mirror me on the same side here. So here, bringing the right hand under the ball, left hand on top, and take that left hand out to the right, across to the left, and in under the ball. Right hand then goes out to the left. This is called pebble in the pond. So here, imagine like the hand is skimming across the surface of a pond. Inhaling as we come to the center. Exhaling as we reach out. Inhale back to the lower dantian. Exhale, reaching out. So if the upper abdomen is where we have our digestive fire, where we digest our food and emotions, and this lower abdominal center is where we store our energy. We can start to rebuild our reserves of energy. And this can help us to feel more anchored and relaxed, and more youthful in our demeanor, feeling like we have a reserve of energy to fall back on rather than constantly feeling depleted and stressed. You might notice my weight shift here too. Whichever side my hands are reaching towards, that's the side I shift my weight into. We'll come back to the chi ball. Turn the fingers forward, hands at the sides of the ball. And start to pulse that chi ball. Now that we've been moving the energy with the hands for a while, you might feel this energy field between the palms, which usually gets stronger with consistent Qigong practice. We'll take those energized hands up to the face and start to move the energy through the body, over the top of the head, behind the neck, over the shoulders and chest, down the abdomen and waist, coming around to the low back, palms just staying just off the body. And we'll come down the back of the legs, around the feet, and up the inside of the legs. And just using the hands to practice our healing hands on ourselves. You can primarily think of the hands as guiding the awareness through the areas that the hands are gliding over. And gradually you'll begin to feel more than awareness. You'll feel that the hands and the awareness are guiding the Qi, guiding a feeling of warmth, of energy, of tingling through the body. We'll end at the lower dantian again, using the hands to direct the Qi into the dantian to again store that reserve of energy. As a healer, you probably spend a lot of your day giving your energy to others. So here, taking the time to rebuild our own reserves. We're going to step in and center the energy down the center line to the dantian. Switching sides, inhaling, gathering. Exhale down the center to the dantian. Gathering anywhere we've given too much of our energy, too much of ourselves, taking it back to our center. Nourishing ourselves deeply, reconnecting with our inner wisdom, inner power, so that we can help others from a place of peace and wholeness. Folding the hands in a nice narrow stance, feet together or close together, relaxing into bamboo in the wind. Here we soften the body, not trying to cause this swaying, but just allowing it by softening the muscles. Feeling the only point of effort in the body being the crown of the head, reaching upwards towards the sky like the branches of the tree. And the rest of the body like it sinks downwards from the crown. Breathing softly through the nose. Allowing the energy to circulate. And we'll slowly step back out. And start to circle the belly. Moving the Qi through those lower centers of the body to help it store, consolidate, anchor, and deeply nourish us all the way to the lower dantian. Whenever you're ready, let it release. Let out a big sigh. Let that energy spread from your center back to the surface, back to that Qi field. I hope you enjoyed that practice. If you're feeling good energy from that, try it for a week or a month. Trying to do it every day or several days a week. Qigong really has the best effects when we practice it cumulatively. You may also like some of my other videos here if you're new to my channel. Feel free to subscribe and stay up to date on those. And if you're interested in taking your Qigong deeper, you can check out my teacher training program. It's online, a 12-week series that you get lifetime access to all the content. And it's for people who want to become a Qigong teacher or just want to go deeper into their Qigong practice and knowledge. So I've I've got that program and several other programs that I'm rolling out this year, such as 5-animal Qigong and Medical Qigong. So check out the website and you can learn more about all these new programs. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.